Hey, beautiful souls, take a moment with me. Just breathe. In this whirlwind of notifications, deadlines, and endless scrolling, I want you to pause and imagine something with me. Imagine standing at the crossroads of two worlds, one ancient and timeless, the other racing forward at the speed of light. That's exactly where we are today, and I can't wait to take you on this journey. You know that feeling when you're scrolling through social media and everything feels overwhelming? Like you're somehow both connected to everyone and completely alone? I've been there. We all have. But what if I told you that the wisdom of centuries past holds the key to not just surviving, but thriving in our digital age? Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. There's this beautiful promise in Hebrews that says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Isn't it amazing? In a world where trends change faster than our Instagram feeds, we have someone, who remains constant. Let's start with something real. A moment that I believe God orchestrated perfectly to speak not just to my heart, but to yours too. Last week, I was having coffee with my friend Sarah at Cornerstone Cafe, our usual spot where the afternoon light streams through the stained glass windows, painting everything in hues that remind me of Sunday mornings. Sarah, and some of you might know her from our church's worship team, is usually the one whose Instagram stories could rival any devotional app. Her posts about faith and encouragement have touched so many lives in our community. That's why what happened next shook me to my core. She sat across from me, her untouched caramel latte growing cold, her usually bright eyes dimmed by what I can only describe as digital exhaustion. Her phone kept buzzing, each notification like a tiny hammer chipping away at her peace. Slack messages from her mission team, prayer requests from the youth group, comments on her latest faith-based post, and an endless stream of emails about the upcoming worship conference. Cut to gentle close-up. She started, then deliberately turned her phone face down, like Abraham laying down his sacrifice. I spent 3 hours on Zoom calls today, trying to explain to my coworkers why I posted about praying for them. Between managing our church's social media, responding to everyone's prayer requests in our group chat, and trying to keep up with all these devotional apps. Her voice trailed off, heavy with a burden I've seen weighing on so many of us. Camera pulls back slightly, showing both of us in frame. That's when she asked the question that would change everything. How do I stay true to my faith when everything moves so fast? Sometimes, and here her voice cracked, sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in all this noise, and I can barely hear God's voice anymore. Soft background music fades in. In that moment, the words of Psalm 46:10 washed over me. Be still and know that I am God. It wasn't just a verse anymore, it was a lifeline for our generation. Cut to montage of young people engaged with phones, intercut with peaceful nature scenes. You see, beautiful souls, Sarah's struggle is our struggle. We're all trying to navigate this space between the ancient and the modern, between the sacred stillness our hearts crave and the constant motion our world demands. But here's what's beautiful. The same virtues that guided believers through the catacombs can light our way through the digital catacombs of social media. Return to cafe scene. I reached across the table and took Sarah's hand, and together we did something radical. We sat in silence for 3 full minutes. No phones, no photos, no posts about having a meaningful moment, just stillness. And in that stillness, something profound happened. Camera slowly zooms in. This is where our journey through the 7 virtues begins. Because what Sarah needed, what we all need, isn't another app or algorithm. It's the timeless wisdom that's carried believers through every cultural revolution since Christ walked among us. Transition to main teaching portion. Each virtue we're about to explore is like a compass point in this digital wilderness. Faith reminds us who we are when the profiles and platforms tell us we're not enough. Hope teaches us to see beyond the doom scrolling to God's bigger picture. And charity? Well, that's about bringing Christ's love to every corner of our digital world. Soft music swells. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed like Sarah or just trying to figure out how to be a light in your corner of the internet, I want you to know, you're not alone on this journey. These ancient virtues aren't just historical concepts. They're God's gift to us for such a time as this. This is where our 7 beautiful virtues come in: faith, hope, charity, justice, prudence, temperance, and courage. But we're going to explore them in a way that speaks to our lives right now. Faith, our first virtue, revealed itself in Sarah's story in the gentlest way. Remember how she turned her phone face down? That simple gesture spoke volumes. You see, faith isn't just about believing in what we can't see. It's about trusting enough to let go of what we can see. The thing about faith, Sarah told me later that week, is that I was so busy proving it online, I forgot to simply live it. Isn't that just like us? We're all guilty of sometimes performing our faith for the likes instead of pursuing it for love. This brings us to hope. And oh, how Sarah's story illuminates this virtue. Remember those 3 minutes of silence we shared? Something beautiful happened in that stillness. Sarah's eyes lit up with what I can only describe as holy inspiration. "What if," she whispered, "all this connectivity isn't the problem, but the opportunity? What if God gave us these tools to spread hope in ways the early church could only dream of?" And just like that, hope began to transform her digital exhaustion into divine purpose. Hope. Oh, how we need this one today. When your feed is flooded with climate crisis news, pandemic updates, and global uncertainties, hope becomes an act of rebellion. It's choosing to believe in better days while actively working to create them. Last month, I joined a beach cleanup with my youth group. You know what? Every piece of plastic we picked up was an act of hope, which leads us perfectly to charity. Love in action. Sarah's journey taught me something profound about this virtue. The following Sunday, she did something revolutionary. Instead of posting her usual polished worship highlights, she shared her struggles. Raw, real, and radiant with God's grace. The response? Her vulnerability created a space for others to be real too. That's charity in 2025. Not just giving money, but giving permission for others to be authentically human. Looks like offering genuine attention in a world of quick likes and fleeting comments. It's choosing to really see people. Remember, Jesus didn't just scroll past suffering. He stopped, he engaged, he cared. Justice hits differently today, doesn't it? It's about using your voice on social media, not just to share memes, but to stand up for what's right. It's about educating yourself on issues that matter and having those uncomfortable conversations in your Discord servers or Twitter threads. Justice took on new meaning through Sarah's awakening. I realized, she told me during our follow-up coffee date, that I was so caught up in posting about justice, I wasn't actually practicing it. Now she uses her social media influence to amplify voices that need to be heard. But, and here's the key, she does it while actively serving in our community's homeless ministry. Digital advocacy, backed by real-world action. That's justice alive and breathing. Prudence, or, as I like to call it, holy wisdom for the digital age. It's that pause before you post. That moment when you ask yourself, is this bringing light or just noise? It's choosing apps that nurture your spirit and setting boundaries that protect your peace. Holy wisdom began flowing into Sarah's life like a gentle stream. Watch how she transformed her relationship with technology. Before, constantly available, perpetually exhausted. After, setting sacred boundaries, including Sabbath hours for her devices. It's not about disconnecting, she shared. It's about connecting to what truly matters when it truly matters. Temperance might sound old school, but let me tell you, In a world of endless scrolling and constant notifications, learning to say enough is revolutionary. It's about finding that sweet spot between staying connected and protecting your inner garden. Temperance emerged in Sarah's life like a beautiful dance. She started treating her online presence like a garden, cultivating what brings life, gently pruning what doesn't. "I still post daily," she says with a smile, "but now I ask myself, is this feeding souls or just filling space?" And courage? Oh, beloved friends, this is where Sarah's story becomes your story, because it takes courage to put down your phone during prayer time, share your real struggles instead of your highlight reel, stand firm in your faith when the comments section turns hostile, choose presence over performance. The biggest act of courage, Sarah shares, looking directly into the lens, was admitting that I needed to change my relationship with the digital world to strengthen my relationship with God. And this, beautiful souls, is where your journey with these virtues begins. Because Sarah's story, it's your story, it's my story. It's the story of every believer trying to navigate this beautiful, challenging digital age while keeping their hearts anchored in timeless truth. Courage. It's not wielding swords anymore. It's wielding truth with love. It's posting about your faith when it's not trending. It's choosing authenticity over likes. It's being real about your struggles in a world of filters. But here's where it gets exciting. These virtues aren't just individual challenges. They're invitations to create ripples of change in our digital ocean. Every time you choose faith over fear, hope over cynicism, charity over indifference, you're not just transforming your life, you're lighting the way for others. I've seen it happen. Last month, our youth group started a digital kindness challenge. Simple acts of online encouragement, thoughtful comments instead of just emojis, sharing stories of hope. You know what happened? It spread. People started responding with their own acts of digital kindness. The ancient virtues came alive in our modern world. Ecclesiastes 1:9. What has been, will be again. What has been done, will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Amen. Remember, in a world that's constantly pushing us to look forward, sometimes the most revolutionary thing we can do is look back, and then move forward with timeless wisdom as our guide.